It's not only about the bragging rights, it's about representation, prowess, flexibility, and adequate information for a solution-focused initiative. We crowned a champion in the third edition of the Speak and Solve initiative, SASI. It was a tough challenge, but an ultimate winner emerged. Taking the trophy, which has been in the custody of the Harare Institute of Technology, the Midlands State University held the cup for the first time, marking themselves as the team to beat in the fourth edition of the SASI debate. They fought a good fight. Will they follow in the footsteps of their predecessors and be the winners this year? Do they have what it takes to take it home yet again?
My name is Fadzai Chakawia. I am the Dean of Students at Midlands State University. The expectations are very high. We are the current champions at the moment, and we're looking forward to retaining the championship. It has been a very exciting time in terms of preparation and in terms of getting to where we should be as Midlands State University. So our expectations are very high this year as well. Our wish is that our students always give of their best. We would love to have the cup back at MSU where it belongs, but we also know that competition is competition. What is important is to have a good competitive ground for everybody. So we are really working hard to try and bring the cup back home, and we are confident that we will. The competition is really going a long way in enlightening issues of SRH and in really building a conscious community among our youths. So we are very thankful to say what for this very, very good initiative that has actually made a huge impact within our own MSU family and the entire community of Zimbabwe. My best wish is that we continue to raise our flag high, our hands, our minds, our destiny, and that we continue with the flagship of excellence and being a pace-setting institution. We are unique as Midlands State University because we give our students a platform to be themselves. We support them in every fora, and we try as much as we can to be a pace-setting institution. And what that means is that we look to international best practices and we bring it home to our students, and we can incorporate that into our daily activities as well as our community-based initiatives. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had to adjust the manner in which we give out our SRH information. We know that these are trying times, but we are trying to readjust. And I encourage everyone out there to make use of our virtual platforms in increasing knowledge as we would if it were the old normal. So as we go into this new normal, I encourage all of you to continue being current in our SRH issues amongst others. We are the generation that will make the difference, and we're looking to you for answers. So research wisely and also give as much as you can in terms of practically receiving the information that you should and dispersing the information to everybody who needs it. So as Midlands State University, we are being COVID-19 compliant, and we encourage all of you to continue masking up, sanitizing, and practicing social distance.
Hi guys, my name is Sutaichi Sirogwais. I'm from Lupane State University.
Hi guys, my name is Joachim Yoni, studying with Lupane State University.
Well, personally I'm very comfortable. I think he's the best partner that I could have. And as far as coordination is concerned and everything is perfectly fine.
She's the best partner that I've ever had. So she's enthusiastic, she's positive. Everything she does is just on point. So I'm happy to be with her.
I would say yes, we're doing our best, and I first believe we can. But stuff happens at the end of the day. But yeah, we can. We do.
I mean, as long as everything goes good, why don't we send a chance?
Obviously. They're surprises, number one, because Jay is a pretty much different partner. He's one person that you haven't seen on your screens. Of course, maybe you've seen me before or whatsoever.
For my fellow contestants, I mean, I would love to say that this is a competition. Do your best and don't take it personally.
We are finally at semi-final stage, and I just figured this would be a really good time to let you all know what they are battling for. All right, the first is this prestigious trophy. You might not be able to see it, but we have the previous winners here, and slot for the next winners. Our next winner will be going over here. All right, that's going to the universities themselves. However, the ones who take this trophy home, each student will also walk away with a laptop each, not a shared laptop. Each will get a laptop. Gold medals, such as this wonderful one, I've decided to award myself for good performance. And they will also get an electronic sanitizer dispenser for their university. So that's the full package for those who take first place. Second place, each student will get a tablet. They will also walk away with silver medals and an electronic dispenser for their universities. Third place, each student will get a cell phone and a bronze medal. The gold is winners, us. And then the rest of our competing teams who haven't made it this far will also get themselves medals and certificates for participation. All right, so now that we know what it is they're battling it out for, I'm going to put this back before I get carried away and think it's mine to take home. Put it there, place it lovely. Looks so pretty, doesn't it? All right, Midlands State University, that used to be yours. Are you going to take it again? All right. Lupane, do you want it?
Yeah, I do.
Are you sure? All right, let's remember to turn on our microphones. Now, let's get into this motion in the semi-finals, the first one of the day, the first team to battle it out. And your motion is this House would prohibit the media from reporting on the mental health of criminals and those accused of crimes. I will read it again. This House would prohibit the media from reporting on the mental health of criminals and those accused of crimes. Are we clear on our motion? All of us? All right. And we have Midlands State University, who are our affirmative team, and Lupane is our opposer today. Now, quickly run you through our rules and regulations on time once again. All right, so affirmative, your opening speech will be 3 minutes. Cross-examination from the opposers will be 1 minute. Opposers, your opening speech will be 3 minutes. Cross-examination from the affirmative will be 1 minute. Opposers, we will then come back to you for a rebuttal. Affirmative, rebuttal from you. Both sessions will be 3 minutes each. Opposers, you will then give us your closing remarks. Affirmative, your closing remarks. Both are 2 minutes. Are we clear on our time? Let's remember to turn on our microphones and make sure the microphone is facing us when it is our time to speak. My clock is off. I need it to go on. I need my clock to go on. While we wait for the clock, what's going through your mind right now, Samantha?
The prize.
What? The prize?
The trophy. The prestige, the bragging rights, everything.
Yeah, the bragging rights.
The bragging rights, Stens?
Yeah, what my partner is going through.
Same vision.
Yeah.
So you're
This
both
must be-
lying. I would be excited about the laptop. The trophy is not mine. What laptop, how far?
Too much more.
Okay, all right. And you two, what's going through your minds right now?
Personally, I'm trying to imagine a picture with the dean with that trophy, like all the poses and everything. That's where my mind is at the point, because I see myself with it already.
I suppose these students are better students than I was. You had me at laptop, you had me at tablet, you had me at cell phone. Like, either way, I'm good. All right, my clock is on. Affirmative, are you ready with your opening?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, your clock starts now.
Panel, a little bit of context and characterization so that we realize what we're talking about in today's debate, right? We think that firstly, you ought to understand that the Zimbabwean society does not appreciate mental health. Secondly, it does not appreciate mental illness. They shun people that are mentally ill. They throw them out of society and call them mad. They compare them to dogs or whatever, right? We think that it holds that doctors have doctor-patient confidentiality in physical health of everyone, and we think that same principle ought to hold with prisoners because society does not particularly appreciate mental health society. This debate says that in our side of house, we ought to prohibit the media from particularly reporting in issues of mental health, right? Why are we saying so? We ought also to characterize the Zimbabwean media. We think that they just blow things out of proportion, it's full of tabloids, they just gossip people around, and they diminish and tarnish the dignity of people. And also what you also have to understand in today's debate, we think that their burden to prove is to prove to us how exactly do we achieve justice in society when we tell people about the mental illness, and also how exactly do we protect the prisoner from human indignity, right, and also from the devaluation of their character. We think that when prisoners come out or criminals come out of prison, we ought to give them an opportunity to reintegrate and function as normal human beings in society. At a point when their dignity is taken away from them, they are unable to do so. A couple of things that you're going to get from us as a house. Yes, we concede that criminals are generally bad people. We think that they already have enough punishment by going to prison and saving time, right? But at a point whereby you go an extra step further by tarnishing their image using tabloids and the media, we think that particularly devalues them as human beings. They are not able to be reintegrated back into society and function as a person. Thirdly, what you also understand, we think that prisoners have a right to privacy. As I've told you, how people have doctor-patient confidentiality, and that ought to hold. We think that when a person goes to prison, right, they do not lose all their rights. Of course, we limit some rights in terms of movement or whatever, but we do not limit basic human rights, right? We think that, particularly when you give this particular to the media, we think that you harm that fundamental right to privacy that prisoner has. We think that this is inefficient in terms of achieving justice, right? And also in terms of achieving one of the goals of the justice system, which is to reintegrate the particular person back into society. How can you go back to society when your image is already bad and tarnished and society shuns you away because you've been perpetrated or shot as a madman? Secondly, you ought to understand how people are gonna, if the media continuously does this, how people are gonna make it easier, or people are gonna see a chance for them to claim insanity or to claim mental illness to cover up their crimes. We think that we think that as a government, when we prohibit the media, as I've characterized in today's debate, that one, they're extremely problematic, they are not accountable to their ways. We think that we protect the prisoner, which is the important stakeholder in today's debate. With this, we beg to propose.
All right. You're giving me your 2 seconds. Thank you. Opposers, are you ready with your cross-examination? Your clock starts now.
Team Midlands State University, confirm that you prefer punishment, imprisonment, to dealing with the mental health issue.
Speaker, the more important thing that we're talking about in today's debate is whereby we're dealing with crime, right? Because the more motion is about the criminal justice system. We think that we ought to...
Thank you. Comment on how rehabilitation is significant.
Rehabilitation is very significant because that's why people go to prison. If it's not significant, they will be left in the streets. That's why we take them to prison to rehabilitate them and reintegrate them to society.
We should deal with them. How do you mean when you say rehabilitate them?
That's what prisons are there for. That's what they're currently doing. That if we go an extra mile to tarnishing their images, it does not serve the purpose at the end of the day.
So you're saying it does not serve the purpose. We are saying we should deal with mental health issues. Why are you not addressing that issue?
Issues can be dealt off outside attacking a person's image. We think that if you attack their image, they're unable to reintegrate and function as a normal human being in society.
You're squeezed in your society. All right, thank you. Opposers, are you ready with your opening remarks? Your clock starts now.
A panel, what am I saying? I'm saying that public relations is of paramount importance because it gives you the projected image, it gives you the power to have the perception of the image. So the media is the fourth estate, which is the watchdog, so they should have the power to broadcast whatever they want and whatever they feel is necessary. Why? Because it is within their power for them to be able to do so. So therefore, we cannot prohibit the media from broadcasting what is necessary. Why is it then necessary for us to be broadcasting mental health issues and all, right? It is a means of education because we need to evoke this in our societies. The society needs to know that there are mental issues that needs to be dealt with. Criminals, ladies and gentlemen, we are not trying to shun them out. No, in fact, a matter of rehabilitation is actually brought into the picture when we are sharing these matters with the community, because we are evoking that mentality for them to be talking about these things in the streets, to understand that when someone comes out of prison, they shouldn't be treated in a certain manner. No, they should be appreciated, they should be rehabilitated, they should be given opportunities, right? And then we're also saying that matters that are done by the justice system are not done for individual, but they are done for the public masses. Therefore, we should include the community. So if we're shutting the community out and we're not broadcasting those things, then how are they supposed to know how the person who came out of the mental prison is out of a prison is feeling? How are they supposed to know the mental issues that people deal with on a day-to-day basis? These things should not only be seen on the Western countries. They also should not be seen only on television. We should implicate them for ourselves as well, right? Again, the society has been negligent and reckless of the criminals, which means they mistreat them. They have a way of mishandling them. And by associating with the media and allowing the media to publicize these things, we are actually saying that we are opening the society to actually understand the issues that need to be dealt with. And why is this important? It is important because it should be an agenda setting. And when we're talking about rehabilitation, we can also focus on the fact that ZBC TV right now, they have a program which deals specifically about the issues that they have had before, and about the prisoners that have left prisons, to actually say, okay, they have been in prison, this is what they faced, and they've learned their lessons. So community, accept them, and when you accept them, at least know that this is what they've been doing in prison, and they also show us all the activities that they would have done in prison, which are very innovative, by the way. So at this point, we now know that in prisons, there are things that people do that make them very innovative. And we also understand that being enclosed in the very same, in a small space, can actually affect you mentally. So then if we have these people in our workspace, we now understand that they might have psychological problems, which is why mental health issues are a necessity for them to be broadcasted, and it is a necessity for the media to deal with the public relations very well. Therefore, broadcasting is important.
Please don't be sneaking words in when I say time, okay? I've given you your time. Are you ready with your cross-examination?
Ready.
All right, your clock starts now.
In the Zimbabwean people, how often do we, in the Zimbabwean context, how often do we accept people with bipolar in our workplaces or homes?
Yes, we have very less chances, which is the reason why we want to make sure that the fourth statement is evoked and make sure that this is communicated with all of us so that we understand them and understand what it means to have them around
At
us.
what point do we disregard consent and force these people to be publicized?
Again, this is a problem. You're thinking that it's invading privacy. Fourth estate media does not invade privacy. It's the fourth estate. That's why I keep on saying that it is within their rights to make sure that they broadcast everything, whatever that they feel is necessary. There's no invasion of rights or whatsoever.
Whose rights?
You were talking about the privacy, right? So the privacy, you're saying that these people have rights to privacy. So in the instance that it's broadcasted, then their rights are invaded. So I'm saying that there is nothing invited because the fourth estate, it is within their right to be doing that.
Time. All right, thank you. Opposers, it is time for your rebuttal. Your clock starts now.
Okay, panel, they mentioned the issue of invading privacy. And as my partner has mentioned, media is the fourth estate. It is not invading someone's privacy, but it is informing the community at large of what people are dealing with. And this, therefore, invokes conversations around these issues. If we're having conversations around these issues, we are having people understanding what, depression is, what dementia is, what schizophrenia is, right? So if we are having these conversations, it means that we have a people who understand those people and they do not stigmatize against them. So therefore, the role of media is to then invoke conversations around those issues. Also, we take note of the fact that matters done in the criminal justice are not done for a small community or for the person who is being charged. We are saying that as long as they are done for the community so that the whole community benefits. So if someone is charged with a crime and that issue is reported and they are reported as someone who is having a mental illness, they have a certain mental illness, and people have a conversation around that. If people have a conversation around that, we are dealing with an area whereby people have better knowledge of what is happening and they fully understand this people so they can fully, properly and rehabilitate them. Right? The purpose of the CJS, what they do trickles down to the community. So if we are saying that we are prohibiting the media from informing or reporting on the issues around mental health, right, encompassing schizophrenia and all that, we are saying that we are depriving people of the knowledge and we are closing spaces of people to talk about these issues. So if you are opening these spaces, we are saying that people should talk about them, and it gives those others a fair chance of coming up back to the society after serving their punishment or after going to a psych ward, so that they can come back to the society, they are rehabilitated, and they live again without stigma. What we are saying is the media challenges stereotypes. This therefore means that if we address these issues, we are going to have a society that is just for everyone, that does not stigmatize against anyone based on their mental health state. Because we take note of the fact that there are a lot of causes for mental health issues. If we do not address those causes, if we do not address those issues, we are going to deal with a state whereby we're just going to be imprisoning people and not dealing with the root cause of what is going to happen. This therefore is going to lead to a society whereby we do not have equal justice for everyone, because we are judging someone based on their mental health without fully understanding what is happening. Right. Taking a look at the crime rates, there are a lot of crime-related issues that have to do with mental health. So what we are saying is the role of the media is to then have conversations around these. Thank you.
Time. All right. Just in time. All right. Affirmative. Are you ready for your rebuttal?
Ready.
Your clock starts now. Please remember to turn on your microphone and make sure it's facing you.
Yes, it's on. Panel, we love mental health awareness. We think everyone who is mentally disturbed should get help, but not during the people. We don't get why when we put this issue on media platforms, there's a change in the people that are coming out of the closets, there's a change in the efficiency of psychologists doing their job. We get zero analysis on what then the media does. We think there are a lot of ways to conscientize people on mental health awareness. Why specifically are we choosing this one for criminals? We don't get any analysis. They completely ignore the accused. The motion talks about those who've been accused, remember. So what does it do to them when they're now like their picture or their names are dragged into mud and tainted, and then they're proven innocent? What does it do to them? We think it destroys them, because we've already gone forward to publicize without even knowing that they're criminals yet. We think this is also something that they completely ignore in today's debate. Secondly, right, they ignore that the important stakeholder in today's debate is the criminal. Yes, they have done bad to society, but the reason why they're in prison is to get help, is to get rehabilitation. It's the state's duty to help these people. We are for that. But what we don't want is how then the media will then portray them. You remember how media always has a perception that they want to forward, that they want to perpetuate, and we cannot control what people say on Twitter, on Instagram. So how then do we know that only positive things will come out of what the media will say? We have no guarantee, right? Secondly, right, we think that the issue of consent was key in today's debate, but we never had any comment on that, because in as much as they are a criminal, they have rights, right? And we need them to consent that, okay, I want to make a documentary about my mental health illness. That would be acceptable, but we get zero content under their side of the house, right? Consent under their side of the house, right? Secondly, right, we think anyone who controls the media controls the narrative. What if these people have been painted so bad or so good, and when they're reintegrated into society, it's exactly the opposite of how we've perceived them? How then do we change the perception of those very people, right? We think often, like a number of times, the outcome is always negative, right? How then do these people get jobs? Now they're tainted as a black man, as a black madman, to be worse, right? Denzel gives you characterization of how these people also want to be part of a community that is accepting, but because we are not mental healthy aware, especially in African countries, right? You run the risk of being called a madman or incompetent, or you can't even actually go to a public church and serve, because no, you are bad, you are dirty. So we do not want all these ideas being perpetuated and tainted upon the criminals, right? We already talk about how we cannot, at the cost of the criminal, serve the society. There are many ways to deal with mental health.
You were really ready to go on with your drums, your invisible drums. All right, we are getting our closing remarks now, and opposers, are you ready? Please make sure the mic is facing you. Make sure you turn it on. Is it on? Your clock starts now.
Okay, panel. So what I will do right now is start with the for you rebuttals, and then I'll go on to my closing. So Denzel said the community does not appreciate mental health, which is a very good point. They don't, which is the reason why we are using the media to communicate this with them so that they can appreciate it. Thank you, Denzel, for that point. Then you also went on to say the problem is that we are invading one's privacy. It's not fair. Again, I have already nullified that point by saying that there is no invasion of privacy when it comes to the media, because the media has the right to do all that. The right. Again, Denzel goes on to say Zimbabwe does not. Zimbabwe has so many tabloids, and then they will tarnish so many people's images. For example, Denzel, Zimbabwe has the Zim papers, which has sister papers. It does not even have any tabloids whatsoever. So you were wrong again on that point. And then you also go on to say, how are we going to rehabilitate people when we have now advertised and broadcasted them on television? Again, yes, the reason why we are showing all the stories on television, broadcasting them, is to make sure that we a certain continuity for rehabilitation when they go back to their homes. Samantha, then you want to say, what, we don't get the significance of using the television. And I'm saying, yes, there is a significance of using the television, and it's simple. It's because it gets to everyone. You have a TV right now, you have a TV at home, you have a TV at Cresta, you watch it on a daily basis. So it's very significant, and it's very important and useful. And then you also said in the event of publicizing wrongful arrest, it's a matter of concern. And no, it's not. It's actually a good thing, because when that has been broadcasted, we then get a chance and the opportunity to go back and say there was a wrongful arrest, and the person is now has been released of all the charges that they had before. So that is a good thing. But saying that, I also want to say the justice system and the media are trickling down to the community, and we should allow them.
Okay, affirmative team. It's time for your closing, and your clock starts now.
There's really zero clarity coming from the opposition in terms of characterizing what exactly is the fourth state media. We just get like, oh, they have so much rights, they can do anything. We want to know, how exactly do they do anything? Constitutionally, you cannot just do anything because you have so-called fourth state media. We think that we do not buy into this chart. Secondly, we think that you ought to understand how exactly society operates, right? We think that we can advocate for mental health awareness outside of violating the right of privacy of a prisoner. We will also advocate for mental health awareness outside of mentioning names. We think that when you talk about what we when you buy into our side, you figure out that when you give the media so much rights, it means that they mention names, they mention these people. We think that it harms the personal integrity of a prisoner. What do you get from our side? We tell you that prisoners also have rights to human dignity. We think that at the end of the day, you fail to get that that goal of social rehabilitation and reintegration of prisoners back into society as normal human beings. The other thing that you ought not to buy from their side of house is they say, you know what, we think that Zimbabwe has Zim papers. We think that when the motion says media, and also talk about the fourth state, which you don't know, we think that, okay, we're going to buy into the fourth state as Zim papers, right? But the motion talks about media, which is broad, which can be Twitter, Instagram, or anything. And you cannot control what people say. People in Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, they are very angry. They damage people's reputations, and we don't want such societies. With this, you ought to buy to our case, because we already give you a context that we operate in, a good characterization in terms of how the media looks like and how people in society look like, and also what we want to achieve at the end of the day. We really do not know what their goal on the other side can be achieved outside of doing this. Therefore, it ought to be prohibited. You guys ought to join our team, because at the end of the day, what you're vying for is there on a side of house. But what we're vying for inside of house is an efficient criminal justice system. We think that prisoners already are being punished for their crimes and are already being rehabilitated in terms of mental illness and whatsoever in prisons. Thank you.
All right. Just a reminder of what's at stake here. We have Two more teams coming forward, and these two here have finished their round. The winner walks away not just with the trophy for their university, but they also get a laptop each, gold medal, such as the one I've awarded myself, and an electronic sanitizer dispenser for their university. It's a very neat, fancy gadget. It's got the thermometer and all wireless, don't touch nothing, very clean. Then the second place winners walk away with a tablet each. The students each get a tablet, silver medals, and an electronic dispenser for their university as well. Third place, students each get a cell phone and walk away with a bronze medal. And then our other participating teams will walk away with medals and certificates of participation. Who do you think is taking this home? We're down to 4 teams. Whew, it's really close. When we come back, we will see the University of Zimbabwe up against the Chinhoyi University of Technology. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining us at the Condomized table. And of course, the sassy debates are on, heated, and of course, there are knockouts and other teams that are progressing. But you know what? We need to talk to the ones who are making the big decisions. And I've got one of the adjudicators with me. I'm joined by Mr. Dube. Thank you so much for coming through and talking to us.
The pleasure is all mine.
So let's find out more about the judges panel. Tell us a bit about the backgrounds and also what the judges panel comprised of.
Okay, so the panel is composed of 2 women and 3 gentlemen, including myself. And so the panel has experts, people who are very well versed with the issues that the debaters are talking about. But also on my end, I am a lawyer by profession, but I also run a communications consultancy called Ideas Matter. And we specialize in creating amazing debaters, amazing speakers. We help to drive conversations. We work with the Cambridge, the Oxford Union, Harvard Union, and so many schools around the country.
Lovely. Yes. Now, when you look at the participants as the adjudicators, what is it that you're looking for? And of course, we're getting to the top now for the winners. What are the key attributes that make up top debaters?
What makes a good debater is the ability to make convincing arguments, okay? Convincing arguments, not just any arguments. So what the things that we look for is to say, like, how much analysis was given by the debaters, and also how good is their delivery of these arguments. So this is what we call the element of style, the manner in which they present their arguments, and then the content of the arguments as well, and also strategy, like how do they manage their time, how are they able to pick the relevant arguments to engage with in the debate. So those 3 elements are the elements that is actually the criteria that we're judging all the debaters with.
Well, indeed, it is very, very exciting, and would like to thank you for joining us.
Thank you once again.
And I've been talking to Mr. Dube. He is one of the adjudicators for the 4th edition of the Sassy Debates. Please stay with us. We've got more coming.
education. You are guaranteed. Is it provisional and expert? Oh, online counseling service. Saka bona, bona, bona. Waneteka neiko iwe fona. Rusiwo rese utano wepabone. Kubatanizwa kwevadzidzi nevezidiki. Wachipiwa rusiwo rezvirwere zvepabonde. Be part of the movement. Be quick. Take action. Waking up the reproductive of young people. You say what consider. So no, no, so no way.
Yeah, we're spreading the peace, spreading the love. We're saying the gender is violence. Connecting the youth, spreading awareness. So I'm a go somewhere for life. Yeah, cross white. Yeah, Taliban nani high. Yeah, we're talking peace, no GBV. Me the jungle for tonight. Yeah, we got you covered. Supporting girl, we're for life. We got the L, we got the P. Kushiga ku NCC, and I could change your lifestyle. I'm pending the campus. I'm talking about peace, connecting the youth. Mugote we're for life. Say what? Abstain or compromise. No tolerance to GBV. Tukadaru tabata basa.
Hi guys, my name is Giselle. Hi guys, my name is Maya. Child abuse must come to a stop. If you have been abused, call the Say What call center number 577 if in case of abuse.